Hello and welcome back to Tabletop Dubshot, a live-action D&D game with all baristas. I'm Renee, your dungeon master, and with me is Bela,
Playing Val.
PE,
Buka
and Jordan.
as Pierce.
Last we left off, our heroes, while in the town of Ravenford, were discovering some creepy entries in a journal that ended up with them facing some undead horrors in the town. And after a brief combat, they were able to escape on horseback. On the way out, once they were able to defeat some of these undead, on the way out, they met up with twins, Talaya and Catriona, that lived by the lake, more on the north side as well. But they were investigating what had happened and had heard reports of people going missing and had traveled down south to do a little exploring, but had known about the undead. And so they connected with you guys and traveled a little bit, as well as sharing things that they knew. And in the midst of this, our group has ended up going towards Sir Gregory's home, which wasn't too far away. And that is where we are now. We passed some towns. I think maybe one of them somebody had gone missing, but everybody else seemed to be fine. Why? Did you guys encounter some other places that had that?
No, my worry is that it might be spreading to the other towns.
They look at each other. It better as hell not. Talia speaks up a little bit. Well, let's hope not, first of all. But also, where are we going? I think we kind of hitched a ride, but I guess I probably should have asked what's the plan?
Sir Gregory's home.
Yes, we are going to my home. We've had similar happenstance as Ravenford, and so all things considered, it's still like a fairly safe place to be. And so I think also having some people capable will probably be helpful. Okay. Talia speaks up. We could probably, we're down to accompany you at some point. If this thing is spreading to different towns, then maybe looks over at Kat. It might be best if we head back. And then Kat just kind of nods.
You guys are you just gonna leave us here? You're gonna go back to your home?
You don't.
We got to take care of our people, right?
You would be taking care of your people by seeing if this is spreading, and this is the closest town.
Talia, like as you say that, looks over at Ken. She's right. Kat. Yeah, I know she's right. Okay. Okay.
How about just accompany us to Gregory's home? He's also looking into what's been going on. We're here investigating things. You guys are trying to not just find out what's going on, but protect your own town. And if we can maybe work together at least for the next couple days, and at that point, depending on what we learn, we can part ways or we can stick it out together.
Cool with me. Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. Yeah, either way, we have to kind of figure out what's going on. This is my home, and I'll be damned. Kind of clutches her symbol. I will be hard pressed if we don't do anything about it.
Okay, so you're here for the ride, and we are all headed to Gregory's house. Sleepover, right? We're gonna get cozy. Real quick, are killing these things the only way to stop them? It feels like they might already be dead, but I had a feeling every time I kind of hit it didn't really feel anything.
These undead have a deep will to live now that they have been brought back. And so these creatures can be brought back by a handful of different ways. There's not a lot of different ways. It is very unsavory kind of magic that kind of brings these things back to the dead. But there's a couple different ways that you can take them out. But so once it has been redestroyed, it's not impossible, but it's incredibly difficult to bring them back. But I'm sure you guys saw that sometimes they don't want to stay down.
I whisper over to Gregory. Okay. I just need you to be aware and be ready that maybe I hope not, but maybe some of your friends might be Gary.
As you look at him, it's like a possibility that like Gregory had not had. Understood.
I sit down next to Gregory. I like scoot closer to Gregory since he kind of scooted away, and I throw an arm over him.
He doesn't move away this time.
Does Pierce see that Gregory's upset?
Yeah, I think you guys can kind of feel like the energy. Like he's not, despondent. Like he's
Right.
still like chatting with you guys, but you could tell. Like, I think it's more him like thinking about, okay, if this is a possibility, what does that mean? What do we do? Like, because at the end of the day, like he is a warrior. It does seem like his attention is more very pragmatic in that kind of thinking.
I think seeing Gregory a little bit down, especially like after going through what we just went through with him, and now that we've all kind of met and talked and know what we're doing, Pierce just looks at Gregory and says, I think we could pick up the pace a little bit, get to your town sooner. And as he's like, Pierce says that, he like hits the reins to get the horses to pick up the pace.
You guys finally get to a point after about another like 20-30 minutes where Gregory speaks up, just so everybody knows we're here, and you guys start kind of making your way. The trail leads you guys to like the top of a hill, and as you look down, you guys just see a small clearing, large trees. You guys don't see anything, like no buildings, no anything. And there's a point where he looks out over at, because I think Pierce is still driving.
Yeah.
Looks over and just says, we can go ahead and stop here, Sir Pierce. You're able to stop at the top of the hill, and you see that he does like a sharp whistle, but it seems to be a code almost. Just it's not just one sharp whistle. It's like you could tell it's some kind of way of signaling something. And then from the ground, just as you start to see the heads of different mice as they start making their way out of the mounds that were hidden away from like in the tall grass. And then you hear a voice that just says, Gregory's here. Everyone. And then as hundreds of mice start making their way out, rushing towards you guys, similar to Gregory, as they peek their heads up and they start dashing towards you guys. At this point, Sir Gregory hops off and is running towards his pals as there's like little hugs happening.
They're so cute.
Val, I don't think these ones want to play fetch like we played with Sir Gregory.
You played fetch with what? When?
Oh, was that not what you just threw him earlier? And I just thought maybe you were hoping to play fetch, but
No, that was me trying to save his life.
Oh,
That's
That's
not how
right.
you play fetch.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say I'm not gonna go get it.
You see that at this point, Catriona, the one that's been had like the hood up, that they were on top of the carriage. You see that she speaks up a little and just says, "You played catch with the mouse?"
Not very well.
Yeah, he
Oh.
wasn't caught.
He didn't die though.
Why would they?
Yes,
Okay, I feel like I'm missing something, but that's all good.
that's what you missed last episode. Just cut that.
And at this point, the horses have kind of slowed down, and then they're been kind of resting as well as they've been traveling for the last amount of hours. But you guys just see that it's an open clearing.
Are there other? I'm assuming a lot of them don't have like armor on. Do any of them?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
All of us are just.
Whoever would like to take a look.
I want to perceive because him both.
Yeah,
I got a 12.
a 12.
I got oh my god, I don't have my character sheet open. Hold on.
Well, as you pull that up,
So you automatically got nothing. I have wait for it, a 14.
14. I'll say with a 12, you do notice that a few of these like Mousefolk do have armor, literally exact same mold and shape that Gregory has, but the vast majority of them do not. And as you are taking a look, more and more of these Mousefolk are peering through, and there seems to be, once they recognize it, it feels a little bit safe, and then Gregory, and at this point he's again amongst the people, but there seems to be a little like more like calmness as you kind of see just people, these Mousefolk running around. With a 14, Puka, what are you trying to perceive?
I guess I'm trying to see. I want to observe about. I'm trying to see Pierce. No, I'm trying to make sure this civilization, this community, does it feel like it's well established, been here for a long time? Do these Mousefolk feel kind of like they're in danger? Am I sensing that from them? I mean, obviously they were hiding when we first showed up.
With a 14, you realize that a lot of there's not like really buildings. Like you don't see any buildings. It seems that some of these trees have been hollowed out as some of the Mousefolk seem to be going in or out. But with a 14, you do notice that it's kind of hard to get like an actual gauge of how established it is, because you do notice that there are burrows, as there are areas, and it's multiple. It's not just like one or two, where there is tunnels that seem to be leading down into the earth itself, and the Mousefolk are coming in and out from these various holes. So it seems that a lot of them are down below.
I run to the nearest burrow, and that isn't being occupied right now by a Mousefolk. Maybe one that hopped out to see Gregory, and I want to stare into the burrow to see how much I can see.
You see nothing. It's genuinely the way that you can even tell immediately it curves down. And so you, even from that little bit that you can tell, you can't really see, but you can kind of gauge that it goes pretty deep. How deep it goes, you are unsure. But I mean, you can try to stick your hand in there if you'd like.
Stick your tail in there.
I do my snout. I go,
smell how deep they are.
I'm gonna smell deeply.
It smells like wet earth.
Nice.
And Val, what did you get?
Val perceives a 21.
21. I'm gonna give you something, but is there anything in particular that Val is looking for or just looking at?
Are these people, these Mousefolk, are they very accepting of strangers and willing to trust, or are they more like guarded?
It seems that they're guarded. As you're looking, like they don't seem scared of you guys, but they haven't really made any sign at this point to try and get towards you guys. But a lot of them are still kind of steps away, and mostly surrounding Gregory, as Gregory is still having like these conversations. The clearing itself is pretty large. Honestly, probably maybe not like a full town, but if buildings were to be like established and erected there, you could probably have a hamlet worth. It would be probably like a handful of buildings. So the clearing itself is pretty large. With a 21, at the far end, right when like the actual tree line begins again, and the woods begin again, you see the grass itself seems to be maybe from like use, maybe from maintenance. The grass in this clearing is fairly short, does seem to be kept to some capacity, and then once you get to the actual tree line, it grows again, just like large grass. But you do see a pair of boots towards the edge of the clearing, and with a 21, kind of hard to see the actual person just the distance wise, but you do see that the boot's connected to a leg, and there seems to be like a humanoid just kind of like up against the tree, and you notice like a hat, like a large, almost like a sun hat over their head. You're unsure if they're dead or sleeping, but just the way that the arms are even positioned, it does almost seem like they are napping.
I'm so glad.
That's not where I thought that was gonna go, to be honest. I thought the boots were gonna be connected to a person hanging from the tree. So that's a lot better.
Well, I'm just glad it's connected to a leg. It's just random boots out there hanging from a tree. What a waste of boots.
Go take his boots off. Put them on.
I haven't seen this yet. I'm still sniffing the ground.
Oh, you're right. Nosed.
And then with a 21 as well, you do notice that Catriona, our little like roguish kind of hooded individual, seems to have noticed it as well, as you can kind of see that their eye line is towards them, but it doesn't seem that Talaya has noticed. So after, honestly, not that long, but after like a minute or so, Gregory kind of comes back towards you guys, and then a few of these even small, like Gregory in of himself is probably standing on his hind legs, is probably 1.5 to 2 feet tall. But you do notice these seem to be young mouse folk that have kind of like are behind him, and you see that they're kind of like crouched and using Gregory, who isn't that large, almost as like a shield of they're curious. Gregory makes his way towards you guys and just says, welcome, welcome to our home. Not many people know of this place, but you are all trusted trusted warriors. Looks over at Buka. Most of you trusted warriors.
Gregory, are your houses underground? And I like kind of scratch a little bit, but not actually dig into the burrows. I'm just trying to see more.
Yes. They most of our burrows house the majority of our town. You see that he looks at some of the trees nearby, and we do use the trees. Some of them are hollowed out for a little bit of storage, but other than that, though, this is it's well hidden. Most of us are kept safe from danger.
You guys are so smart. I am honestly so very impressed of your home.
You honor me.
Gregory, if you guys are I mean, don't get me wrong, you guys are well hidden. Where are all of your friends going? The ones that are disappearing? Are they being taken or are they just leaving?
It seems that they've disappeared. I don't think that anybody would just take them. I feel like we would have known. We would have seen people. It's very obvious, when we're in our burrows, whether if someone was there, we would know. But it seems that like people would leave. Like it's people, will travel away from the burrow for food sometimes, to get water, for use a latrine, but it's hard to know because sometimes people are gone for a amount of time, and there are thousands of us. It's not like there's just one or two, but it's been a few weeks now.
Do they disappear overnight?
It's usually at night.
So they're usually disappearing at night. Are they leaving? Is it always to get food or water that they leave?
I mean,
and then they don't come back?
I mean, now we've gone to a point where we've started to question people, and usually we've been trying to do pairs so that it's not just an individual going out. But before, if someone wakes up in the middle of the night to leave to go do something, or sometimes they're doing rounds as well, we're not exactly questioning that. There was never a need to.
Dang. Is there any common direction?
He doesn't say anything, but he looks back towards the direction that you guys came from.
Towards the lake and the town.
Yes.
Okay.
So everyone that's gone missing has been mouse, like you?
Yeah. I mean, those are the only people that live here.
I mean, I noticed someone in the distance. That's why that wasn't a mouse. Do you know anything about the guy? And I kind of look up towards the tree so he gets like my glance, but I'm not like pointing.
As you kind of like look in the direction and you say that, he does use you and climbs on top of your shoulder to kind of get like a better view. And then he's like looking for a second. He's like holding on, and he's like, Cavino is here. And then he looks over at the little ones, like, why don't you just? And then he jumps over. He's like, why don't you say anything?
Cavino. Coffee.
Yeah,
Who is
Cavino.
who?
Cavino. He's a traveler. He has been. I mean, he's not here very frequently, but I mean, he's come to this town honestly since I was a boy. A lot of times we won't see him for months, maybe for a few years, but he knows a lot. He knows my grandfather, and he knows some of the other elders, and has a friendship with them. But he will sometimes bring us food. Sometimes he just comes to say hello. But it's usually whenever he's traveling. That old fool's probably sleeping, but I mean, we can wake him if you like. But he'll probably be up in a little bit.
Yeah, we can wait. Greg, is there anybody else that's been, I guess, investigating or looking into this as you have?
Just us. Most of us, I probably strayed a little bit further than I should have, but we've been trying to maintain, mostly staying close to here, just to make sure that to maintain safety. But I got a little further than my round probably.
You're you care. You want to figure out what's going on. I
Yes.
understand.
Sir Pierce, you understand? I knew you would understand.
How
Luke is
long?
looking at Pierce like, yeah, he would understand leaving home and going far away.
They
How long have you been
Luca.
gone? How long have you been gone this time, Gregory?
I'm close to. I mean, it's only been a few days. When I encountered you guys earlier, the day that I wandered. At that point, I was just running from those wolves.
You were attacked by wolves in one day. One day from out of leaving your village.
The day of. Yeah.
It's unlucky.
I kind of lean into the group. Do we think that maybe the wolves are just eating all of them when they leave? It sounds like he got attacked pretty quick.
Maybe the wolves are being sent by someone.
I mean, people are going missing too, so
Yeah, but
I
we
don't
don't care
think
about people.
we're people.
Mm.
As you guys are having this conversation, yeah, this holy woman at this point has gone to where all of the, especially like the very, very small ones, and you see at some point she gets on her stomach and is, I guess, the equivalent of like roughhousing with like a pet, but she has people like some of these like small mouse in like small chokeholds, and they're all crawling up like around her.
She's living my dreams. Can I go join her?
Sure.
I would love to go lay down and just have them crawl over me like puppies.
Immediately you just feel like these like small little paws on you as warm tiny little bodies are like crawling and kind of playing around. They seem so tiny.
I love that.
Gregory, I know you've only been gone for a couple days, but anybody specific that you would want to check in with just to see if anything's happened while you were gone?
Well, I'm wondering now if Cavino's seen anything. I haven't seen Cavino in a year, probably, maybe a year and a half. But he's a traveler. He explores all of Solivan. He sometimes will come in and tell us stories. And so if he's been in the area, he came in the last few days. He wasn't here when I left. So, I mean, maybe he knows something.
Yeah, it's worth asking.
Let's go wake him up. And I start walking over.
Yeah. I'll introduce you. Lady Val, will you be staying or?
Oh, I'm good here. Thank you so much.
You see at this point too, like Talaya's also, I'm good. I'm okay. Catriona will join you guys. And at this point, she has taken off her hood. So you guys make your way across the clearing. And some of like the other Mousefolk walk alongside you guys for a little bit. They're curious as they see these tall folk amongst them, and then they go about their way, or some seem to be playing still. Some seem to have gone underground again. But as you guys make your way to the other side of the clearing, go ahead and give me perception checks, you two.
I perceive fluffiness.
You're living your best life right now.
Truly.
Pierce first. Always.
Out of 3.
A dream.
Woo! Come on. Well, I didn't do much better. I got a 10.
10. Cool. I'll say with a 3, you're not going to get super crazy detailed things, but even with a 3, you do notice you don't see this figure's face at this point. Like, you do hear soft snoring coming from underneath the hat, so you're pretty confident that he's not dead. But you just see worn boots. Material's good, but you can just tell that they've been put to use. And then they have just like these like dark gray that might have been actually like black in color at some point, but you can also just tell is very faded away at this point. Just pants. His shirt is a simple like tan colored shirt, and then just this like wide brimmed hat with a 10. The only other thing that I'll say is, Buka, you just noticed almost like light green skin, typically more like orcish in nature. So little snoring happens. You guys get there, and at this point, Gregory gets where the boots are, and then he shakes a little bit, and you hear Gregory goes, Camino, wake up. We have guests. I haven't seen Camino. Takes off, kind of pushes it back just so it's on his head. Still sitting. No roll necessaries, but you guys see very handsome features light green skin of like an orc. As you guys are looking at some of the traits, instead of like a more traditional squarish jaw or things like that, you notice almost elven features. Like you start to notice very like fine features, like the ears are very elfish in nature, but he still has like small tusks jutting from the bottom, and you just notice a scar under his left eye.
Oh no, he's hot.
He is he's very attractive. But as you guys are looking, also go ahead and give me insight checks.
14 insight. Big money Pierce. Big money Pierce.
15.
Yeah.
With a 14 and a 15, as you guys are looking, youthful face for the most part. Doesn't like you don't notice like, a lot of signs of age. The only thing you might notice as you start to like look, as you guys are standing there looking at him, like longish hair, probably about like, shoulder length, very black, almost jet black hair. But you notice a few strands of gray somewhere in there as well, kind of like jutting from underneath the hat. And as you guys look, he has like almost like amber colored eyes, but he looks very nonchalant, seeing just these random people there. He stays sitting, and as his eyes kind of clear from being woken up, is that wait? And then he kind of puts his hand out, and then as Gregory puts a hand down as well, you see he grabs him and just says, "Gregory, what are you doing? Waking me up, buddy." And then kind of like almost like an older brother, and it just kind of keeps him to his side and just says, what are you waking me up for? And introduce me to your friends. And then Gregory speaks up and then points to you guys. This is Sir Pierce. This is Buka, and this is Catriona.
Nice to meet you.
Pierce, I'll reach out to shake his hand.
Oh, pretty formal of you. Still holding on to him, and sticks his hand out as well. I don't really do a lot of formalities, but that's nice of you. As he's shaking your hand, how long have you served?
I served 5 years.
He's still holding on, but he looks. He's like, okay, looking at your calluses. Oh, pleasure. What are you? Well, welcome to this lovely little slice of paradise. What are you all doing here? How do you guys know my pal Gregory?
We just met him a couple days ago, but we were sent this way to kind of look into some oddities, and it seems Gregory is doing the same.
Yeah,
So
I've been hearing the same thing. And then Gregory speaks up a little bit. Cavino, they saved me. They're like, they saved you. Their wolves showed up. I had just been doing my rounds, and maybe I strayed a little too far because I wanted to do a little investigating, and that I was being chased. And Cavino just says, so you were doing your round and you strayed away from what you were supposed to be doing. And then Cavino's like, Gregory's quiet for a second, and he's like, a small little yeah. And then Cavino's like, good job, man. Oh yeah, no, that's good shit. No, the rest of these lovely mouse folk have been telling me the same thing. I just got back into this area in the last few days, so this is the first I'm hearing about people going missing. They've been telling me.
Yeah. Well, you say you just got back in these past few days. Where do you normally travel?
Oh, everywhere. I'm a connoisseur of experiences, if you will. I'm just here to, I don't know. Life's a little too short to not be somewhere. I kind of go everywhere. I was just in Stakaria not that long ago, so I'm kind of trekking south right now, and probably gonna cross across the water, maybe head over to like Ulxa or something. But I don't really have a set itinerary.
Were you planning on heading towards the lake at all?
Well, now I mean, I feel like I should probably check it out, but
Oh, so the rumors of people going missing make you want to go to the lake?
I mean, aren't you a little bit curious?
Well, I mean, I just came from the lake. I just came from the lake. I don't think I want to go back.
What did you wait?
Yeah,
I mean, the lake's nice. Listen,
no,
once you do, once you
guarantee
do a little bit of wakeboarding, once you get,
Yeah.
a little bit of
if we were
action,
there for the fun stuff, it probably would have been fun.
Lake Elder's
But
great. Yeah.
no, well, listen. Pierce decided to go read a dang book, and then bodies started popping out of
mistake.
houses.
Pierce
Thank
was it? Yeah. Yeah. First mistake.
Thank
Don't read books. Yeah.
Yeah,
never
Pierce.
again.
What did the book even say?
It was more of a diary journal,
Scandalous. Okay. Reading diaries.
but ending in a kind of horror-esque panic, and it didn't really like fully end.
You guys could like recount kind of like some of the things that you guys have experienced. Do you guys want to, or?
Yeah, I mean, as much as makes sense. I don't feel like
I'm sharing
going
everything.
into too much detail.
I'm sharing the fact that Pierce jumped off the cart to fight instead of us running away, like I really wanted to. And
Don't
then I
forget that I had to drift the cart.
Yeah,
I'm still on the mice though.
Yeah.
In the distance. But you guys can at least recount like the general events of the last 4 hours or so, and then the diary entries ending with "they're coming," in just dark, just lettering. And he again still sitting down, still holding on to Gregory. You guys recount it. Yeah, that's a real bummer, huh? Well, now I really want to check it out.
Yeah, you'd probably be fine. Just stay out of the water.
Yeah, don't get Otherwise, the skin coming off thing will happen. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Right.
No, this is the first I'm hearing about it, but I don't know. I was like, I like these guys, and a few of them have gone missing. I feel like I owe it to at least take a look. But
I don't remember seeing any Mousefolk in the town. Well, again, we were trying to run away pretty fast, so I could be wrong.
If these little guys were headed off to the lake, I mean, technically, direct access to the lake is just due west. Ravenford's a little bit south from here.
But we don't have to go back to Ravensford.
No, I don't think that's the best plan. Anyways, we were already there. I think.
Great.
As he's saying, I think traveling towards a more reasonable location of where the Mousefolk might be trying to get to the water to see what's going on there potentially.
Yeah. It kind of sounds like Ravenford's. Kind of sounds like it won't be a vacation spot anytime soon.
No, the restaurant was closed. We didn't even eat.
Oh, the restaurant there is so good.
Right?
That's what they keep saying.
Listen, no. They have like this whole cod, salmon little combo. They do like a little surf and turf sometimes. Listen, if you haven't been, well, it doesn't sound like we can go anymore. But if you haven't been, you're missing out.
Yeah, you get it.
No, they that's unfortunate. I haven't been in this neck of the woods, and looks over at Gregory. It's been like a year and a half. Like, yeah, something like that. So it's been a little bit. So it's kind of sad that I leave for a little bit and things go to shit. But
yeah, that's kind of what happens when people leave.
Pierce looks away as soon as he realizes Buka is looking at him.
Buka's not looking at him. Buka is also looking away. Everybody's looking away. We're all looking at a different tree.
As is like he's like looking at this situation. He looks over at Kat and is like, what's this? And she's like, I don't know. I met up with them a little after their situation, but I just met them today. Oh, well, look at that. We're all meeting today. Isn't that lovely? Well, hold on. He goes to hand Gregory over to one of you guys, and sticks his hand out to like ask for like a little help up.
I'll help him up.
You lift him up. He is tall, probably like 6'6". He's like taller, and again, like you guys have met plenty of orcish individuals, and like half orcish individuals, typically very broad-shouldered, very like almost like square in a lot of their features. And as you're looking at him, not skinny. He's not like a lithe person, but you do notice a little bit more fluidity in kind of his frame, and also in like his just kind of like his movement. A little bit of grace, a little bit of like looking at his scar, a little bit of like almost like savagery, almost like a contradiction as you're looking at some of his features. But the only thing that again you just see like high cheekbones, slender nose, but then you notice just kind of a very orcish, flat browed almost. But as you guys help him up, just says, "Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm hungry."
Absolutely.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's and then he grabs his bag and puts it on. He's like, "Well, I see that you have other friends. Well, I have a little bit of food. If I don't mind sharing, if you guys are."
Oh, that sounds great. They really talked up this restaurant and then we didn't eat anything. So I'm starving.
Yeah. You see that he goes and what starts to walk towards where Talaya and Val are, as you guys are still like on the ground, and then this tall, almost like imposing figure starts to make his way towards you guys, and he squats down a little bit next to where you guys are and just says, "Hi, I'm Kavino," and just waves.
Hi, I'm Val.
Val, pleasure. I'm you see just like kind of like not blushes and like, oh my god, he's like so attractive, but just I think you notice like Talia kind of blushes just from this like holy woman just lounging about with like on the like in the dirt with these mice, and just says, "Hi, I'm Talia." And then you hear I think only specifically Buka and Pierce probably, but you hear like a little like chortle from her sister as she's just like okay. Well, please don't get up on my account. But and you see he kind of goes crisscross applesauce and sits next to you guys as some of like these little mice. Some of them stay on you guys, some of them hop off where he is. But I'm hungry, so if you guys would like to eat a little bit, and goes into his pack, and then he pulls out just like a large mango. This one's for a friend. Let's like I don't want to gift a gift, you know, and then pulls out like another package, and then as he opens it up, it's salted meat. It's like seems like preserved, but it's slabs of it. So it's cooked at this point. It's like salted, and just says he's like, well, and he brings out these small like ceramic plates. He's like, well, I only have 2 of these, but puts it down, has like a dagger, cuts some of the meat up, and pulls out like a small package, and if you guys have a little sweet tooth, and he opens it up, and you just notice almost like this pastry, puff pastry almost, as he's like, I don't know if you guys are like fans of it, but there's some like figs and honey and some walnuts in here. So if you guys want any after our meal, because you know dessert comes after and all that good stuff, but let's eat. I want to hear about you guys. You guys seem like a fun group.
Wait,
Like,
we have more rations in the cart. Why don't we we can supplement what you brought. We don't want to just
Oh,
eat your food. Let's do that.
listen. I don't want to be that person, but I will never say no to more food.
Let's get this started.
Yeah. And then you guys are able to like bring some of the food. And you guys are able to kind of sit like in a semicircle as you guys are able to just chat a little bit. He's eaten a little bit of his food, but you see that Cavino at this point has gone heavier on the rations that you guys have brought, and just says, "This is good stuff. This is good." Wait, where are you guys coming from? I'm assuming you guys aren't from Ravenford.
No,
No.
really not.
You are like looks around, peering like really intently. Okay, listen. If I was a betting man, which I am, Alcor?
It's just
Puka
not-
That's good.
Yes,
Puka
because
looks
he's
at
eating.
what he's wearing to see if any of it says Alcor on it.
He's
Nothing.
like, no, the tag says Alcor, made in Alcor. You guys had a look about you. Not to be judgmental. Listen. Looks over at Val.
Hold
Like
on.
I know. Listen,
I look at all three of us as we look completely different.
I
Go.
haven't been in that place for longer than a week at this point in like 5 years. So,
Yeah, he still guessed where you were from, though.
but
Yeah.
what gives it away?
I don't listen.
I smell Val and I smell Pierce. Do I smell Alcor on them?
It's not a smell. Listen, it's hard. Listen, once you
I smell myself.
No, I mean you're a little smelly, but that's not the thing. I don't know. It's just once you've been traveling a lot, people have a look about them or like a way they carry themselves. I guess I don't know. It's hard to it's kind of hard to explain. But I don't know. You guys walk a certain way. I don't know. That's very judgmental of me. I'm sorry. I apologize. You guys are nice. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying.
No, I'm just.
I don't know
pick your
why.
brain.
Buka does not know why he's offended, but he is.
No, people from Alcor are great.
That's where you're from. Why are you offended?
I don't know.
You've been
why.
there longer than us
I don't
now.
know why. I said,
Yeah,
I don't
wait.
know why I'm
So,
offended. I just feel
you
it.
said us. So, and looks over at the twins, and then they're like, "Oh, we're from Pine Grove," and just says, "Oh, you guys are just a few days away." Okay, so you guys are from there, and looks over. He's like, "Well, Val, you said we, so you haven't been in Alcor." Looks over at Pierce. You haven't been in Alcor. Okay, fellow travelers, love it.
Can Pierce potentially try to roll either insight or perception to see if I can figure out where he's from?
Yeah.
And maybe with advantage because of my time in the military?
Go ahead and roll with advantage. I'll allow it.
I don't see this going well, but I want to try.
Also, this goes for the three of you guys. Go ahead and roll insight checks, perception checks, as you guys are talking with this man.
Pierce
Got
rolled
a
a nat 20.
Ooh.
Oh, I got a nat 1, so that's great.
Hey,
nat
Natty
1
1
for both of you guys.
Yeah.
Nice. I think you guys are kind of a little kind of the man's very charismatic. He's very calm, but I'll say even with a nat 1, you guys aren't really gleaming anything from him, right? But he's very calm. It's not like he's like very. You guys have met, on like city streets and things like that. You guys have met very like charismatic people that are trying to sell you something. Loud to some capacity, very showy to some capacity. But as you guys are just chatting with him, he just seems a friendly person. I'll say that you guys are just more not captivated, but you guys are kind of just like very entertained or very however you
I'm
would choose.
enamored with his beauty.
I think
good looking.
Buka is a little preoccupied, worrying about why he can tell that he's from Alcor.
You're still like focused on that.
Why? What about me?
That's so funny. With a nat 20, Pierce specifically looking for where he's like from or trying to like gauge it.
Mm-hmm.
You are looking at his clothing. So I'll say this. So as far as just like physical appearance, you can't even gauge it. It's hard to, because I'll say also with a nat 20, you haven't really seen a lot of like orcish like people that look the way that he does. So already there's something about that is it feels very unique. It just feels very, I think unique is probably the best word unique to like describe it. And as far as his clothing though, I'll say with a nat 20, you start looking at some of his clothing. You've traveled about and you've been in different parts of Solovant to some capacity or another. As you're looking at his clothing, you realize that a lot of it is, even though it's very like dark colored for a lot of it, like his tan shirt really being the only thing that's even light in color. But as you're looking at some of his stuff and you're looking at even his pack, a lot of it is not from Numir. So like as you're looking at it, his boots, and this is something even with like I guess even a nat 1, but you wouldn't even have to roll for it, Val. Like his boots are from like Stacaria. They're designed for all purpose because it snows heavily in Stacaria typically. They're very like weather resistant boots. They're very warm. Like you could tell he's running these things to the ground. But his boots are from Stacaria. You look at the finish of the pants and even his pack, and you can tell they're from Melibur. And so you just notice that a lot of it is not mismatched, but it's all things that seem to be gathered from his travels.
Hmm.
But as far as I'll say, even with a nat 20, you can't exactly pinpoint as you're like listening to like his like voice. Maybe there's like a little accent or the way he says something. You can't pinpoint it, but it doesn't feel like it's from one place, which is almost like disconcerting for Pierce for like a second. Like not enough to bother you, but
Yeah.
like you're trying to pinpoint it. And in general, like if sitting down with someone for X amount of time, you can maybe they're from like this region, or they're kind of like they're maybe from further up north. But a lot of his like mannerisms and forms of speech are very like from multiple places.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. If he's been traveling a long time, he wouldn't want to stick out in any one place. You said his boots were from Melibur?
From Stakaria. His pack and his pants are from Melibur.
From Melibur.
Mhm.
I think this whole time, Pierce has been like interested, but also eating. So he's just listening. But as he guessed where we were from, not necessarily surprised because he travels, but also just intrigued that he was able to guess it, not just so easily, but so fast. So Pierce would look up at him and just out of curiosity, really like that pack. How often or how much time do you usually spend in Melibur?
Good eye. He kind of like puts it in front of him a little bit. Melibur, oh man, I have not been there maybe in the last year or so. Probably been about a year. I got this pack many years ago, but I haven't been to Melibur probably in about a year. This pack honestly is probably as old as you are. But
for real quick for you, Renee,
yeah,
I haven't been to Melibur, right?
No,
okay, I didn't think so.
no, but you've met plenty of people from there,
right?
And you can tell like a lot of the packs. But was there a question with that, huh?
So he's hot and old.
I'll say also with a nat 20 though inside check. I'll say this. That's another thing that kind of it doesn't again upset you or anything like that, but it I think it's just kind of in the back of Pierce's mind. Maybe something that Pierce will go back to in a little bit, but he doesn't look that much older than you guys. He looks like he's in his 30s.
You mentioned earlier that he kind of had like almost elvish features as well as
So half
orcish,
orc, half elf.
essentially.
All hot.
Which would
All
make
hot
sense
and
the age.
old dilf.
So it's hard to get like an accurate gauge on his age.
Yeah. I mean him looking young would be, I don't know if Pierce would really care. I think more just because Pierce's time in the military and getting to travel and not having been to Melibur, thinking about the place that is Melibur and it being like just so like separated from the rest of like Solomon, it's a place I want to go, which is why I chose to ask about the pack specifically. But as he finishes talking about the last time he went, I'll just never been personally. I've traveled a decent amount, especially during my time in the military, but it's on my list.
It's beautiful. If you guys, and this goes for all of you guys, if you guys ever get a chance, or we just happen to maybe cross paths again, there's some places that I need to show you guys. Melibur, absolutely beautiful. But are you guys like the religious type, or?
I kind of hide from Talaya. I shake my head slightly.
I mean, and then he kind of responds like, well, I mean, I saw the Holy Symbol. You're a follower of Atia, which is good. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but the reason I bring it up is Melibur is very traditionally a little bit more of a religious nation. I don't know, like if you guys are partaking in a lot of these like traditions, but either way though, I think if you guys ever, there's some stuff that might be maybe out of your comfort, but I think might be like a good thing to explore a little bit. I think everyone should dedicate a little bit of time towards something that makes them uncomfortable.
Well, this was my first time traveling outside of Alcor, and so far we're 0 for 1 with Ravenford, and I would like for that record to be positive. So I'm okay with continuing to travel as long as we stay together.
First of all, you guys seem like wonderful friends, the 5 of you. So I think if you guys are traveling, keep doing that. It's always nice, I think, travel with people. I have a couple of friends here and there that I maybe don't travel with as often as I used to, or as often as maybe I'd like to. But I think it's nice building relationships with people. And when I visit places, I try to see them and try to see what kind of trouble we can get into. I think if every experience was incredibly positive, I don't think it would make the positive experiences very memorable.
Buka was just talked in a circle for a second and just kind of pauses for a moment. Yep, that makes sense. Yep. We need the good and the bad, just like we need the sour and the sweet, and he eyes the dates.
Dessert. Yeah, no, 100%. And he hands you some. He's like, also, there's plenty to go around. Listen, I have kind of a sweet tooth, so there's a lot. I want the last bite, but you guys are more than welcome to. And he kind of puts the tray out. But no, I think it's important for everybody to have, like a thing that they, as he's like still handing out kind of like issues. Like I think everyone should have like a thing that they stand for. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. You guys, I'd like to think. I don't want to be presumptuous of our relationship here, but I'd like to consider you guys all kindred spirits. Obviously, these lovely Mousefolk think the same, and so if they think highly of you, I think this would be my sage advice to you all as you guys are traveling and becoming travelers of the world. Have like a thing that you stand for.
I think Buka is kind of relating Cavino to Heckin a little bit here as like a role model and a guide. So Buka has given up on trying to read into Cavino at all and is just sitting there cross-legged, like eating dates and nodding and agreeing and trying to soak in as much as he can.
So Buka, what's your life goal? Like what's the motto that you're gonna choose to live? And also these can change, by the way, you guys. Like don't feel tied down to these. The beauty of it is like as we grow, we change. So should the things that we have as the forefront of our mind. But I think it's always good to have like a guiding point, guiding star.
Right. I think. Can you come back to me? I have to think more.
Listen, you also don't have to have an answer today or tomorrow or ever. This isn't for me, But I like you guys. You guys seem like very fun individuals, and so I try to. I think for me, a life goal is always to have like. There's a lot of pain and suffering in the world, and if I can make it just a little bit better, then isn't that a good thing?
Buka raises his hand.
I agree. Why are you raising your hand? Just talk.
Yeah.
I think my life goal is to, try to make pain and suffering just a little bit better wherever I go.
I'm not much of like a healer, so maybe that's an area of my life that I could dedicate a little bit more pursuit towards. But I think if we can be closer to like a salve towards a lot of pain in the world, then I think we've done good.
I want to make it obvious that Buka is copying mannerisms that is doing. He's talking with his arms crossed, so Buka crosses his arms, strokes his chin, doesn't have a hat on, but like plays with his ear as Cavino's touching his hat.
Yeah. But what about the rest of you? I want to hear from you guys.
I'm just curious because this is very wise of someone who looks so young. You've seemed to experience a lot of life.
Yeah. I think. Listen, you're gonna have a long life ahead. As he's talking to Val, a lot of times people live long lives that aren't very full, and I've been very fortunate to have packed in a lot of stuff.
If we had to put a number on it,
it's a lot. I don't know. Honestly, I stopped counting at some point, but I don't know, a couple hundred maybe, but
100.
Yeah.
Huh.
A couple hundred.
Out of like for the DM, how old are my parents?
They're like 200.
Oh, okay. So like he's closer to them than he is to me then.
Yeah.
Great.
100%.
Okay. Interesting. What is your skincare routine? That's crazy.
Honestly, drink a lot of water. People are too dehydrated. Respectfully.
Buka
Very dehydrated.
is searching the pack for their water skins.
Yeah, drink.
Where did we put our water? Where's our jug?
Yeah, drink more water.
It's on the cart, Buka.
Oh, okay. I'll be right back.
You go and grab it. What about the rest of you guys? And then at this point, Talaya speaks up a little bit and just says, "Well, as someone that serves Atia, she is the mistress and the deity of change and of luck, and I think it's my job to try and implement maybe change in the world whenever I can." Catriona speaks up a little bit and just says, yeah, that whatever she said." Looks around. "And to be a good person."
Cheers.
Am I sitting next to Catriona?
Yeah.
Oh, can I fist bump her?
Yeah. Just
And I just nod once, like nice.
I think Val just awkwardly says, I just want to be a better person than my parents are.
That's a noble pursuit. Don't make them the focus of what you want for you. They can be a reference point. I also don't know your parents, but
they are a reference point for sure, but just to be better than that reference point.
That's fair. I think that's good. Like I mentioned earlier, don't let that be the only thing. Like as you grow and change, hopefully that does too.
It will.
Even if they suck still when you're older, but
I feel so baby.
What about you, Pierce?
Well, I feel like I should change my answer a little bit because it was going to be in reference to my father.
You can do that.
Slightly different view on it, I guess. I hope to live as well as he did to protect his family and his country, but I do hope to find my own way of doing it.
All noble pursuits, everybody. Listen, also, this isn't me trying to make you have these existential crises. You have plenty of time. You will have plenty of existential crises. Just remember, and then kind of looks at Talaya, just says, and I think Atia is a great example of it. I think fate is a beautiful thing. I think fate has brought us all here today, like in this moment, because the reality is I probably wouldn't have been here a lot longer, but you guys showed up when you did, and I showed up when I did. If you all would have shown up a few hours later, or if I would have shown up a few hours earlier, we wouldn't have met and had this lovely. And so, like, just know that fate is always working. But I think more than that, just remember, and then no disrespect towards Lady Atia, but I think also fate is a little overrated. Always having a destination in mind, I think, is
got to take advantage of the moments you're given.
Yeah, of course, and then do good where you can. I think I just live by the motto of in the face of shadows, I stand like the dawn. It was something that I had heard many years ago, and I think that's all I can do.
Does he have it tattooed on his forearms?
You guys can go give me another run perception.
I don't see this going.
So where did you hear such a peculiar phrase from?
At this point, I honestly don't remember, but I heard it and I remember it was really good.
I got a 7.
7.
Got an
I got
8.
a 2.
2.
We are so enamored right now.
I think you guys are just enjoying this conversation. Like,
I'm eating.
You're eating, but no, I think he seems to at least be trying to give some like sage advice as he looks at you guys and just says, "Well, this was fun. I really enjoyed meeting all of you. I'm glad that our destinies kind of brought us here together. But I do have appointment sounds so. I do have some people I do need to meet up with. I kind of took the long route here. I do kind of want to go explore, unless you guys are headed that way. I do want to go take a look at the lake, and then I do have to go meet up with some people soon in the next day or so.
Are you planning on going more south towards Ravenford, or maybe towards? I mean, we were thinking of potentially going west.
Well, if you guys are heading west, then I'll go with you. If that's okay with everybody, but maybe I will avoid Ravenford. I was really looking forward to the surf and turf, if I'm being honest. Yeah, that's kind of sad.
We can hope for a reopening.
Well, I mean, I hope somebody moves in. I mean, from what you guys made it sound like, the town is just fully overrun with undead. So that doesn't sound great.
Not at all.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great. But I do want to take a look at the lake. I haven't, at least on the north end, there hasn't been really any of this going on. So I don't know if it's spreading or it's kind of isolated to the southern part of the lake. I'm curious as to what may be happening. I've seen a few things. Maybe I can figure out what the source of all this is. But yeah,
At this point, we will take as much help as we can get, because I have a feeling we aren't going to be able to leave until we find out what's happening, and I would like to leave these undeads behind as quickly as possible.
I thought you liked traveling.
No,
Since
no.
this man started saying
Oh,
he's been
yes.
traveling.
Yes, experiences and life and places to go and moving my feet. All good things. Undead, bad things. We should probably try to make sure that doesn't leave Ravenford.
Yes. In general, things coming back from the dead, not a great thing.
That's why we fight so hard to make sure that the people that we love don't die in the first place.
There you go. See, something to add to your life motto.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, my friends, should we maybe make our way west?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Unless you guys need to maybe spend the night here, but
what time
is it now?
It's probably around 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
Oh. How long would it take us to get to the lake going west?
He kind of responds, probably about an hour.
Hmm.
So, I mean, unless you guys want to rest here. I don't know if you guys need rest. I don't want to be telling you that you need to nap.
Are you leaving if we rest here?
I haven't made up my mind yet. I'll be honest. Yeah, I kind of decide things. I mean, if you ask me to, I can stay. But
yeah, I think Buka looks like he's about to fall asleep, but says, I'm ready to go whenever you guys are ready to go.
I think if you're interested, maybe we stay the night and go early in the morning, and then you can head your way from the lake from there.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, if that's the case, you guys woke me up from my nap, so I'm gonna go back to bed.
The nap sounds good.
Okay. And he literally, instead of like trying to find a tree, just kind of goes on his side and just almost fetal position as he just and is using his pack like as a pillow.
We have extra bedding.
You already hear snoring.
Okay, I guess we'll just. I think I grab one of the extra bedding and put it next to him, but like cover him with the blanket so he can roll into it if he wants to.
And you hear gentle snoring. Gregory looks at you guys and just says, "Isn't he so cool?"
I think for the first time, Buka is on the exact same page as Gregory. He's the coolest.
There's something there for sure.
Pierce visibly rolls his eyes.
Yeah, I don't even think Gregory sees that, but he's been coming here for a long time, so he also brings really good desserts.
Who ate the dessert? I did not.
I did.
I probably did.
Talaya and Kat both raise their hand.
Oh.
Value didn't get any dessert?
There's still some left over. You can make like a medicine check, or
it's okay.
You want to do like a medicine?
We could do medicine check.
Yeah, go ahead and do a medicine check.
We're all dying.
You can. I'll say with. Go ahead and roll with advantage.
Oh, okay. Because that was a 6. Okay, that's a 21.
21. As you go and you're able to maybe like taste like a little bit off like whatever, like the honey and whatever is like the little residue off your fingers, and as you smell it, it's a normal dessert.
I guess I was just missing it.
I don't like the way you said that at all.
I don't know how else you want me to describe it when someone's suspicious of a thing, but
you are just my dude. I think
I still don't need any.
You see Gregory like takes it from your hand and just starts nibbling.
He said to save the last bite for him.
Finishes about half of it. Puts it and then puts the lid back on the little tray that it had come in.
Yeah. He's your longtime friend.
He would want me to enjoy the dessert.
He said to us, I just want the last bite. So leave whatever you think that amount is.
It's as he like looks at it, it's like he's eaten enough of it where it's probably just a bite size. She says, "Oh, that's all he's gonna get." So, as that's happening, go ahead and just give me everybody either nature or survival check.
Are we just still in the middle of the field, like on top of their homes?
We're
21 for surviving.
16 surviving.
7 for nature.
I'll say with a 7 nature, it doesn't look like a storm is coming, but you do see some darker clouds are starting to drift their way towards you guys. It doesn't seem like it's enough heavy clouds that it'll storm on you guys like it had been over the last couple of hours or even a couple of days. But you do notice that there seems to be still, it's like the season is just like the time of the year where it's just a lot of like storms and rain is happening. What did Buka get?
16.
With a 16, you start to just feel, you're also very like feline in nature. You start to feel like almost like when like electricity is like nearby. It's almost like some of the not enough where you're fully on edge, but you just feel like the hair in the back of your neck almost just rise just a little bit. With a 21, it's I mean at this point, it's still some distance away. You don't feel like by Val, but you can swear that towards the distance and towards the direction of the lake, you hear the sound of thunder, almost just far, it's distant, it's faint, but you kind of just hear like the small echo of it. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. Cue the music.
Dun, dun, dun.